with the poetry. Now, today I'm going to recite from a Facebook friend that I just found, and his name is Patrick Muldoon. He's a cowboy, he's a rancher, and I really enjoyed his poetry. It's heartfelt. And this is titled Words by Patrick Muldoon. As this life spins ever faster, merely searching for a chance to find that real connection where talent comes to dance. On a stage that knows no limits, the artist yearning to be heard, hidden moments, magic feelings, as we come to share some words. There in quiet contemplation, where the lonely gets too deep, in the price we pay for feeling, when the cost gets far too steep. I am just one lonely writer trying hard to speak my truth, as my message fades to darkness when the world reclaims my youth. All right, Patrick, I enjoyed that. All right, folks, let's get on to the showcase. Don't forget about the drawing, and I'll see you all back here next Tuesday. Have a good New Year.
Well, you can see how Webb might have objected to that song. Oh, that banjo I was just playing, that's called a tack-head banjo. And it doesn't have the brackets and hardware of the modern banjo. I say this is a modern banjo, 1885, right? So it's got just tacks. The skin is applied wet and the tacks secure it, and it doesn't have any frets on it. So it's a typical banjo for 1840. But the year is still 1845. And John Charles Fremont is leading a party out of Westport. It's his third expedition, and he is sent to map the Santa Fe Trail. Now, he has given strict instructions to his men that no one is to keep a journal besides him. He's very particular about that. But one of his men, he created a journal and used the pseudonym Francois de Montaigne. And he kept this journal all through the expedition and was not always complimentary to his commander. But at the beginning of the expedition, he writes that some of the men stayed behind and made a sortie to some of the saloons and taverns in the town and worked themselves up into a state of what he said was gloriousness. And they eventually go wheeling in their wagons into camp, rollicking and singing Lucy Neal and Dan Tucker. Combed his hair with a wagon wheel and died with a toothache in his heel. Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way! Oh, Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way! Oh, Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. And oh, good golly, how the ashes flew. Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way! Oh, Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way! Oh, Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. Shell up, tucker shell corn, I'll shave you soon as the water gets warm. Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way! Oh, Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. Get out the way! Get out the way! Get out the way! Oh, Dan Tucker, you're too late to get your supper. to 1854. There are some men that are camped on a creek that is near Rideout. That was Kit Carson's old residence, which is just south of Cimarron. Well, the evening was coming on, and they were very astonished to be greeted by two companies of 1st Dragoons, led by a Colonel Fauntleroy. They were on their way to Fort Union. And so now their party is much larger, and the Army, they set up their camp. The following day, they have a regimental band, and the band assembles. Each player is mounted on a black horse, and they are playing brass instruments. And these fellows at the camp are very astonished, but they are treated to a concert. And it's said that the first tunes that they played were Sweet Home, Home Sweet Home, and The Old Folks at Home. Stephen Foster's Old Folks at Home. Can you imagine this band on black horses, brass instruments, playing that tune? Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is turning ever, that's where the old folks stay. All up and down this whole creation, everywhere I roam, still looking for the old plantation and for the old folks at home. All the world is sad and dreary everywhere I roam. Oh, brothers, how my heart grows weary, longing for the old folks at home. Old folks at home. Now the year is 1868, and there is an ad in the Santa Fe New Mexican, 1868, and they are advertising goods, dry goods. Among them are banjos, guitars, violins. They are also offering guitar, violin, banjo strings, and harp strings. They are offering Derringer pistols, Sharps rifles, fine cutlery, and of course, Bowie knives. And you keep in mind, all of this is coming down the trail on wagons. It's also 1868 is when there is a Briggs Banjo Instructor book that shows up in New York City. Yes, New York City. Within that book, it's a book of how to play the banjo in the popular way of the day. And included in that is one tune called the Spanish Fandango. And it's said that that came from New Mexico. So we keep thinking of the Santa Fe Trail as things traveling from the States into Santa Fe. But it didn't take very long that there were merchants from Mexico who were delivering goods to the U.S. and making as good a profit. And there was also an exchange of culture. And so here is one song that makes it from old Mexico into New York City. It's the Spanish Fandango. Spanish Fandango.